the gameplay and the visuals and the music are not separate things. They're all symbiotic. Hey everyone, I'm Gareth Coker, and I'm the composer for Ori and the Will of the Wisps, amongst many other things. Yeah, starting work, I mean, they're kind of all tied together, first of all, like Blind Forest and Will of the Wisps. Like, Will of the Wisps is a direct continuation of Blind Forest, so it's kind of addresses both games. So, for example, the Misty Woods, there's nothing particular about like the instrumentation, but the way the music is written, it uses a scale called the whole tone scale. The whole tone scale, for music theory nerds, it's a scale that cannot resolve. No matter what notes you use, it is literally impossible to resolve. And the whole gameplay mechanic of the Misty Woods is that you can't see the map. Like if you press select on the controller to see the map, you won't see anything, because the whole idea is that the environment is shifting the whole time. It's called the Misty Woods. You're supposed to feel lost and confused. And I had tremendous trouble like trying to figure out music for that scene until I like settled on the whole tone scale, and then it was like the easiest thing I've ever done. I'm just looking at the visuals and the gameplay, and I could go through literally every single area of both games and tell you like the reasoning behind it, but that's just like a few examples. But it's always dictated to me from what I am playing and what I am seeing. For me, especially in the Ori games, it's about bringing them into Ori's state of mind. Like, you're playing as Ori for almost the entire game. It comes down to use of melody and repetition. And repetition is like a scary word for composers of video game music, because what if the player stays in an area and gets bored of the music? And I'm like, well, if the music's half decent, they're probably going to be fine. Like, if you've played both games, you've heard the Ori theme arranged for like an action sequence, and then you've heard it arranged in like a sad way. It can be very malleable, and when it's the same melody but played with the right emotion, it connects with the player that much more. And it's funny, I remember reading a criticism of the music like online, because, you know, I shouldn't read the comments, but I do. Someone was like, he reused the music for the chase sequence, like what the first chase sequence that you do in Will of the Wisps. I'm like, well, hell yeah, I did, because it's like, it's much loved music from the first game. And I feel like I'd have been criticized if I hadn't reused the chase music. So I'm just like, whatever, man, just get out of here. The way I write for both of these games is I record myself playing the game without any music, so I just have the sound effects, and I bring it into my music software and I just write to it. And I write until I feel like I've got something that feels like it fits the area and fits the tempo of the gameplay. And then I export it and I'm like, hey, can you put this in the game? And then everyone else on the team like tries it and tells me if it sucks or not. Usually it doesn't, which is nice. But sometimes it doesn't work. And I don't want anything to take the player out of the game. I want them to be like, I want them to play, when someone plays Ori, I want them to play the whole way through without taking a break. I don't want them to eat. I don't want them to go to the bathroom. Like, I want, like, you get, but I've seen people play Ori, right? And they don't put down the controller because it's hard to stop, because the game's so inviting. It's like constantly giving you new stuff to do and to look at. You have to willingly press pause. My opinion on game music right now is, I think pretty much across the board, the standard of music production for games is incredibly high. What isn't incredibly high is how it plays back in games. There's a ton of really expensive games. I don't want to name names because I don't want to like badmouth. But like, you know, there's a ton of on the AAA level. You've got these expensive soundtracks, and you've got like, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on the music. But if I can't remember anything, what's the point, right? It's like, it doesn't matter how great that piece of music sounds in the moment. It's like, what I want to see in games is like those moments where the music becomes synergistic with the gameplay, and it creates an experience that if you took the music out, it would be a disaster, or if you took the visuals out, it would be a disaster. It just wouldn't work. It's like when you get those moments where everything comes together, that's the magic of gaming for me. Like, and that's what we should be aspiring to. It's not just like, hey, we wrote 6 hours of music and here it all is. And it's like, well, that's great. You wrote 6 hours of music, but if I can't remember 6 minutes of it, then we got a problem.